So ICP is cloud. And so when people talk about utility, what they don't see that ICP is the utility. No, not cloud. Cloud shows the way. Cloud is pointing towards ICP and saying what it truly is. And also like crypto cloud is such a powerful terminology. So it can be just a pure meme as well, instead of just dogs, which are also nice. But right. Cloud is there's so much more. It means so many different things. It's like natural, inspiring, flexible, and also it points towards actual technical paradigms and internet era. And now it also points towards ICP. And so people talking about utility, they do so because they have to, because most of the memes don't mean anything. So they have to create some sort of functionality. So to justify that we are now the best, we have this functionality. After caffeine, that will disappear. So it will be much clearer that a simple utility doesn't mean that your meme coin should now be like $5 million. Caffeine is an unknown in this, but now when you optimize it with AI and you can test different things, you can do A/B testing, like all the kind of the coding and the hands-on stuff can be abstracted away and given to AI. And then now as a creator, like as a product manager or a founder or whatever, as a creator of some functionality, you will only now focus on the user experience, on how it looks, how it feels. I mean, you don't even need to think about security and etc., because that's solved on the crowd protocol layer. You don't need to worry about like invalid code and stuff like that. It's a whole new world, and I'm coming from that world, and I'm free from that world. But it's still just such a mind-blowing thing that like I understand it and I feel that it's coming, but it's almost impossible. Like it's just such a big thing that it's like a whole new era to the internet, a whole new form of software. It's just it's crazy. It's truly crazy. And one thing is that before it was like, why is ICP separate and different? We were kind of concentrating on that. That is already changing the entire game. But you add caffeine, it's like the perfect killer app. Like we've been looking, the whole crypto space, I feel, has been kind of looking for the killer app, and caffeine, that's it. Killer app, iPhone, kind of that's it. I feel.
They're saying that the longer you give these systems to generate the feedback that you want, which would be the application, the code, the better the response. So like time is just going to be such an important factor. It's the developer's playground, which is kind of how it's going to be for at least the foreseeable future. And this is really going to be a narrative. What do you think, Chris? How are you processing this stuff so far?
The implications are blowing my mind. It's a paradigm shift on a paradigm shift, in Eerik's own words. And I'm still just trying to wrap my head around it all. I think it will replace software across a macro scale as well as a micro scale. So big tech apps we depend on, like Google Drive, Dropbox, storage, finance apps. But then as well, it can have impacts down to the micro level, like custom apps for a birthday party. We've heard that example given recently. Like create a local app that your family, friends, everyone who's coming to the birthday party can upload photos to, for example, or add their own custom like greeting or, personal touches on. So yeah, it's almost hard for me to talk about because the possibilities are so vast and limited only by the imagination.
Yeah, and just like small businesses, all sorts of small businesses, creators. And so even like beyond the developer playground, it's just a creator playground now, because before you needed developers. And so I've been making this case that the programming language is replaced with a natural language. So before you needed developers who knew a programming language, which is needed to communicate with the computer. That's it. There's not I mean, obviously there's also like systems thinking, but that's more like architecture. When we're looking at specifically like coding, engineering, it's just basically taking the specification, what do we need, and then putting it to programming language. And so there's different programming languages, different tools. There's obviously more to it, but a lot like it's all to do with communicating with the computer. And now you use English. So we have like WordPress, we have Wix, for example. Wix is like, and I've used both. Like Wix is actually pretty nice because you can like visually code your website. You can literally move boxes, stuff like that. That's great. But your website is within the Wix ecosystem. It is owned by Wix. The data is owned by Wix. You can't really move away from that. And WordPress as well. You can use WordPress and you can build software on your own server as well. But it's still like really connected to this WordPress ecosystem, and you need developers. Like you can do something on your own, but if you want to go a bit further, you either need developers or you will be very much embedded into a centralized ecosystem. Like you can do stuff with Wix, but it's like you will use their plugins and you're completely attached to them. You don't own your data, you don't own your software.
Right.
And now you don't need developers. That's the kind of the paradigm shift. One paradigm shift is that developers will be replaced by natural language AI. That's where we get from the thousands of Web3 engineers to millions of Web2 engineers to billions of people who can talk. And that's the new internet. It's like it's just something that is beyond beyond what we have right now, far beyond what we have right now.
And yes, the implications of owning your apps, owning your content, owning whatever content and media you produce from those apps, end to end, fully on chain on the sovereign network. It's just unprecedented. And most people, even engineers, I feel like a lot of Web 2 engineers don't grasp how important that is, the essence of this paradigm shift. Do you agree, Eerik?
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried to. One is what we do in X, right? So we have like a type of information and networks of people that we have on X. I've tried to also kind of communicate about ICP on LinkedIn. That's kind of a different vibe of people and the whole platform. And then also in my home country in Estonia, I try to kind of talk about it in Estonian. In private sector, like podcast, in public sector, I try to kind of throw this new technology up in there, and basically zero traction. I think it's similar to Bitcoin. Like if you don't understand the problem, you're not going to see the solution. When we talk about ICPs all on chain, that doesn't really mean anything. When we say that Bitcoin is freedom money, it doesn't really mean anything if you don't see what's the problem with the fiat money, and if you didn't see the problem of cloud software, basically. And I come, like I have experience from that, in that, and I come from that world. And so for me, it was very easy to see what does ICP actually offer. But most people don't have the experience, and even those who have, they are attached to that paradigm. Because I think one thing that allowed me to kind of accept the change is that I ended my career and I moved on to other things. And then I discovered ICP and I was like, oh shit, actually I might not move away from software yet. But I was free. I wasn't like working 9 to 5. I wasn't coding in that paradigm. But all the other software engineers, they're experts. They are experts in Web2 cloud. And then I come and say that, well, we have now a Web3 cloud. It's just, there's so much subconscious defense that it's almost impossible to kind of accept it.
Yes. And this is potentially a good segue into the crypto cloud meme, thesis, movement, whatever we want to call it. We see cloud as a vehicle to explain this value proposition to both normies the masses and engineers who are already familiar with cloud to a good extent. How did you find the crypto cloud movement initially, and what led you to adopt it as sort of a vehicle to explain this thesis to the world?
Well, for me, I mean, I found the movement on the 29th of October, basically, 7 months ago. But there's a caveat, like, but that's basically, and it came from a message from Bobby, and then I looked at it kind of from a clean slate and suddenly realized that this aligns with what I have been doing for 3 years. Then I found kind of the token and the movement. But before, when I discovered ICP, I tried to, and I still am, but I tried to rationalize what this is. Because I was also like, I'm also personally on this crypto journey, and initially as well, it was just about investments, like outside of Bitcoin. Is there anything else or what? And like, what are the other kind of beyond money technologies? And so I went through some iterations, and then I found ICP. And ICP for me was almost immediately crypto cloud. And so I didn't find the crypto cloud movement. I tried to rationalize what ICP is, and I came up with the term crypto cloud. And largely this was because of my like career, basically. And one of the reasons why I ended my career was because I saw the global inefficiencies of this cloud kind of architecture on the global scale. Because on the kind of the individual company view, you have this private closed cloud environment that you get from Amazon or Google, and this is great because you can do whatever you want here in this private closed cloud. That's great. But when you now have a million of those private closed clouds, then you see that, wait a minute, we all need to deal with the same shit million times over across the globe. And so for me, I was fortunate enough to kind of build a global system on cloud and kind of see how actual global, highly scalable, reliable systems are built, and how to do it well. And then realize that we need to do this like million times over. All of us need to do the same thing. And it's just so inefficient. And some of the things could be, and not all of it, but a lot of those things can be actually solved at the protocol level. Mm-hmm. And so cloud was really kind of strong there. And the other part was crypto, like protocol is the crypto. And so you put them together, it's cloud protocol, crypto cloud. Also, crypto is a Web3 movement. Cloud is largely a Web2 thing. And so if you put them together, you get two eras of internet combined. So it's just the biggest concept, how it's really kind of the biggest concept in software at all, because it's two internet eras. But then if you say ICP is crypto cloud, then nothing can be bigger than the entire internet. So I found it fitting.
Brilliant. So you came up with this conceptually before discovering that there is a crypto cloud token that exists on ICP.
Yeah, like 2 years before that. That's kind of the somewhat immaculate conception of the cloud project, because let's say right now I would say that there's kind of three co-founders. Let's say me, Bobby, and Leo, Mr. Cloud creator. And so we hold the multi-sig of the token canister, and then we have this Cloud Foundation outside of it. But how it came to be was not that we came together and created cloud. It's actually that we were creating our own things for years, and then suddenly realized that, wait a minute, we're basically kind of doing the same thing from different angles, and it just independently, and it just came together. So that was why when I saw that Bobby was talking about the cloud token, I was like, wait a minute, I've been talking about crypto cloud for 2 years, like, and now there's actually there's an opportunity here. And before I stayed away from memes entirely, but then I realized that, okay, I'm going to make an exception here because it's something that really kind of deeply resonates with me.
This does to me feel very, very similar to the moment I remember I was working at a cell phone store, and Elon posted this tweet of the monkey holding the lion over the edge of Simba's rock, and somebody had a Dogecoin head. And I was like, he's probably not going to stop that. And I probably should buy some Dogecoin. And I did. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I'm not saying this is what that is. I'm just saying that's kind of the feeling that I get. But in regards to the governance and the three-way, the triple sort of the triangle, you, Bobby, and Crypto Cloud, how do you think that's going to benefit as opposed to the DAO typical model that we've seen some speed bumps in recently? For example, I have 2 neurons in the NNS, and I don't even know what they are really, which is really so kind of funny. Hopefully they do well, but if they don't, they don't. Yeah, this is not going to turn into that though. Maybe because of this strategy. So, what do you think about that, Eerik? What was your reasoning, and why did you guys come to that decision?
Yeah, I mean, it started, I think, in December, where there was 2 things that we wanted to do. One is to kind of clean up the cloud logo and the name. So we kind of, for this, we need to update the canister. And the other was that we would like to actually seal the whole thing, kind of just black hole the canister. And so the logo is set and the token is set. There's nothing to change there. But like, first of all, we weren't able to immediately update it because there were some older versions, and also like we wanted to be careful, and so kind of to take it step by step. And along the process, we eventually, I mean, yeah. So as you said, the option is to SNS like DAO or some other tool to make a DAO for the token. The other option is to black hole. And or assigned to NNS, but they are kind of different, but really they're also kind of the same, because black hole and NNS are in a way the same thing, because NNS has control over black hole as well, black hole canister. So it's kind of the same. And the fourth option was multisig, which kind of wasn't on a table before, likely because there wasn't a suitable tool for that. But on March, Dfinity came out with Orbit, and this kind of was like a new option, and it felt a nice balance between black holing and like a DAO or something, or not doing anything, which is also a risk because only one person then holds the whole access, and it's just an attack vector. And this one person is also Anon. He has different names, like Leo, he's like Cloud Creator, Mr. Crypto Cloud, or whatever.
My favorite is Cloudy McCloud.
Yeah, that's nice as well. So we've had a lot of discussions, but at the end of the day, just having one person hold access is what the Web 2 world is about. There should be no admin access from one person. And so we decided with the multisig, I would say it's also maybe a temporary step. There's nothing that has to be fixed in stone, but we want it to be flexible because the protocol is changing and the token standards are changing. And if we just black hole it, then that's it. So maybe in 3 years, we see that, okay, we would want to update the token canister for some reason. We can't do that. And SNS right now is kind of out of the question because we have the greatest brand that we're building right now, and we wouldn't want someone to just come in, throw $1 million in, and just change it to Swamp or something. So that's right now out of the question. If we're like $100 million project, then I think it's a different story. So have to wait a few years.
I could see from the outside looking in that somebody would say, how are we going to all come to consensus around like what we're all doing in the crypto cloud if we don't have this DAO? But if you know the folks that are on this team, you understand the flexibility. Eventually, there's going to be multiple opportunities that are just so good. I think we're all going to be in a lot of consensus on different things that are going to be very good in the future for the crypto cloud?
Well, first of all, I do agree with you that there's a lot of alignment, like natural alignment, and so there's also motivation to kind of go past the sometimes occurring inevitable disagreements. But there's just so much alignment of the whole movement that we would just get past that. But I would say, though, that the goal, and I've tried to kind of carefully push us towards that direction. The idea is that nobody should actually own the token canister, and there's nothing to do with the token canister because it's a freedom movement, and where the actual stuff is being built is through the sub projects. And so that's why we thought that let's just black hole the canister, because the canister won't hold any IP. It won't have any sorter. It's just the token. It's just number, and that's it. And so right now we are multi-siging the token just so that we can upgrade it maybe 2 years later. But really the magic happens underneath across the whole sub projects. And so I'm doing an NFT collection right now. Somebody's doing another, like a game. Somebody's doing like a media marketing company. There's going to be a lot of sub projects, and especially after Caffeine, like who knows what's going to happen then.
That's
but
right.
it's going to empower us more than anybody else, because we have this kind of the view of the ecosystem, and everything just ties into the cloud token through burning. Like for me, it's very important to have independent, like creative freedom for myself. And so I want this to all the cloud members. There's no central team, and there's no need to find consensus. But that's the beauty. Like there's no DAO that we need to all agree that let's now do this. Like no,
Right.
if there's a group of people who want to do something, then let's do that. Others see differently, they will do some other things. And that's how I feel that we can really take this very far, because now we don't even have to have like this one way to do. Like let's just try different things, and like let's build a network of people who are creators. And yeah, it's much more than one DAO. There's like 33 people right now in the Cloud.Foundation white paper. Every one of those can build a successful company and tie it to cloud, or like partner with cloud. That's exciting.
Clouds are self-organizing,
Yeah.
and cloud is such a convenient aggregation point for like minds, for people who want to come together and collaborate. So yeah, it's just so exciting to be at the hub of this. And I just wanted to say on the record, thank you for your efforts in getting the multi-sig done, because it feels a lot better, to invest in this and to contribute to this movement, knowing that it's not just held by one centralized figure. It's distributed amongst three, two of which are very public, longtime ICP OGs that have been educating on the ICP Crypto Cloud Thesis for 3 to 4 years now. So the track record is evident, and it's just comforting to know that we're having the foresight to get these structures in place to allow for optimal potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you think it would? Did you think it would sort of progress at this pace, Eerik? Generally, or kind of? You said it was a two-year thing, so maybe it's all just kind of coming together at one moment, or
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, also I think it's probably like 3 years, or roughly 3 years that I've actively talked about CryptoCloud, and 4 years since I discovered. Like I discovered ICP 2 days before Genesis, and
Wow.
and since then it's been a passion and a calling that I really need to kind of contribute. And so when you say that it kind of happened quickly, I think it is like gradually and then suddenly, because
yeah,
it's been years in the making. And I feel it's going to be the same for ICP. Like at some point, it's like, whoa, what happened? ICP is like top three. No, I mean it's been 4 years of brutal bear market, and who knows what will happen. So it's yeah, a lot of work already has been put in, and then suddenly the timing was just really really nice. And it's like a lot of
Hmm.
things has happened that can't be planned. And so it has
Yeah.
been just this kind of magical, natural
Yeah.
collaboration and happening. And like,
Organic.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One of my best videos of this year was a little skit of Elon kind of calling out the government computer system. And the curtain is coming back, so to speak. People understand that there's no checks and balances on a lot of things. And as a result of the inefficiencies in the computer system. And we're looking at the smartest computer system, like, this is just going to really change a lot of things. And one thing that I kind of would like to see, an NFT exchange, like a trade post. I have some other things that I'd like to convert to clouds, but maybe if there was like if I had some NFTs I could put like into a little area so other people knew I was willing to trade for them. That would be kind of cool. They could have the ones that they were willing to trade.
What's crazy about this is that is your idea. That is your kind of need, like personal need as well. Like you want to do this. And now we will soon have caffeine. And it's like previously it was like, shit, we need this, we need this. It's like, who will build this? And then there are some engineers who will have time, but it's just like we have been limited, like vastly limited, because we can't just onboard, well, easily, we can't just onboard engineers because everything is starting from scratch. So you need to, I mean, if you need to learn Motoko or maybe Rust, but Rust is also not like the most popular language. You need to learn the whole system. It's really difficult to kind of get on ICP and just build your thing. But
Yeah,
now with caffeine, we eliminate that bottleneck, and then there's no reason why to build anywhere else. ICP is clearly the best place to build. It's just it has been too difficult to start. But
right,
caffeine eliminates
right.
that. Then regarding NFT, it's crazy that after 4 years we don't have like a proper, really good NFT marketplace. After caffeine launches, I feel like at the end of the summer we're gonna have like 10 different nice NFT exchanges. It's like,
Oh
yeah,
man.
Mhm.
Oh, that-
which really changes the entire game. How do we build? It's not even software anymore in a way, because when we say that we're creating software, it already kind of is embedded with, okay, it's there's programs, there's programming languages, there's systems. But now when you use caffeine, you're not really even creating software, you're creating this kind of digital experiences. It's not like software, you're not creating software. Caffeine is creating software, but you are creating now like digital experiences, and you're free to do that. And this NFT marketplace, NFT billboards, like whatever, it's going to be so easy for Caffeine.AI to just look at the NFT standards, code it. Like it's just so easy actually. And so it's just, how do we build software? It's going to change drastically, more than 10 times. It's just a completely new world.
All those barriers to entry are gone. Like, you don't need budget. You don't need, like, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to source a dev that, there's so many factors involved with that, like just finding one that you have rapport with, or finding one that has the specific experience in building whatever you're trying to build. Like, you don't have to worry about any of that anymore. You
you
can
don't
just
need a long
But
time.
now,
be off to the races, just start talking. And it's like living
yeah,
software. It's like live interactive software that can talk to itself and that has the AI embedded, and it's
Yeah,
almost too hard to believe.
yeah,
from one side, yes, it is true that there's no barrier to entry anymore, which is great. But now, kind of the value, or the way we build software is changing. That this is removed, but now you need to worry about anyone copying your business,
Mm-hmm.
which is now almost free. And so that's. I mean, yeah, we get this one big benefit that, oh, you can build software quickly, but so does everyone else. And so now, what actually makes kind of software stick, or like a user experience stick? And I don't know. I mean, it's just I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I would say that one thing is that the people behind it and the networks. And so what I'm excited about cloud is the actual real people, even like 33 people. I'm not sure whether there are organizations outside of Dfinity on ICP that has 33 people believing in one thing? I'm not sure. And of course, like it's still just a meme, but after Caffeine.AI, in a way, memes are all that is left because software is really easy to write. So like if you don't have a good meme idea, movement, like symbols, that's
The
all
frequency.
that there is. Yeah. And so
Take.
yeah.
Never thought about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and that's right in line with the foundation, Eerik, because with the Cloud Foundation, we're trying to take this initial meme that brought us all together, that we all, have share common beliefs and values in, and we're trying to expand upon that and build from that. And every one of us can do that in their own way, and collaborate with others to whatever extent that they have similar goals and needs and dreams. How was Cloud Foundation conceived in your mind, and what does it mean to you, Eerik? And I'd like to know the same from you, Mike.
Well, from my side, again, it was prior to kind of coming together as just like the cloud community after November, like when it really rocketed up. I still am like I have just tried to build my own network of high quality people on Twitter, and when it kind of came together as this cloud movement, I just invited people who I have interacted not to get rich, but to actually like do what they have been doing all the time, but now aligned with cloud, because that's what I'm doing. Like I am talking about ICP, even like ICP as a crypto cloud, I would be doing it anyway, but now it's also kind of tokenized on the open market. And so why it came to be relatively quickly is because of all the work that was done prior. But the Cloud Foundation, like members that are on the white paper, like I created the white paper during December and January, and so I was just kind of communicating with different people who I have resonated with, who I respect, and then who I saw that they kind of get cloud, and so I just kind of invited them and interviewed and tried to kind of see whether they would fit into this white paper, and that was kind of the first goal, is just kind of try to assemble some group. Back then, I used the term NASA of memes quite a lot because Definity and Tom is saying that Definity is the NASA of blockchain. And when cloud is ICP as a meme, then it's kind of fitting to say that we are the NASA of memes. I haven't used it since then for some time, but yeah, that was kind of the goal, to kind of assemble the first groups. And now it's kind of polishing and iterating on it. Right now, I'm also kind of doing a structure of how to organize this freedom movement, not in a kind of the traditional hierarchy, triangle hierarchy, but actually as a decentralized movement, but not necessarily as a DAO. So something in between. And so for me, that's just a passion of mine to study different structures like sociocracy, synarchy, holarchy, like different ways how to structure some movements. And so, yeah, like that's just kind of natural passion of mine along with architecture. So that's kind of been on me.
Yeah, that's really well said, Eerik. I remember, Bobby getting into it, and I don't know. I just didn't get involved early enough, which is so silly because I had just, I think so highly of Bobby, but eventually it started to click about watching Dom reading his post, and there's the word cloud, and then in his visual presentation he says it's a crypto cloud, and on the Definity page it'll say smart cloud, on X, blockchain cloud. And I'll be darned, like, it's kind of like if you buy a red Corvette, you're gonna just start seeing them all over. So it's the same way with cloud. I mentioned Dom might have to throttle his usage of this word. Cloud is the only thing that I think will naturally, obviously, increase in the usage, but as ICP rises the prominence of cloud is going to rise. But I think, as I've said, I believe cloud is going to front run ICP. So it's like, well, both are going to do well. One of them is going to go up a lot, ICP, but the other one's going to go up, I believe, a lot before that. Not financial advice, but as they go up, both, it's like, which one's going to go up first? Which one's going to stop? I don't know. It's like a lot of people are in this just to support the movement, even irregardless of what happens to their position, goes to zero, goes to millions. They're just happy to be a part of the movement. I think the Ghost was very prominent, whether Motoko Ghost or the Ghost coin. The Ghost coin has been terminated, so that was in my mind the biggest competitor to the cloud, which is now something completely different. I wouldn't be able to explain to you what it is, even though I own a lot of it. And then you have the NFTs. I think the Motoko Ghost NFTs, I've said it before, I think they'll do good. I have owned them before. I don't have any right now, but I do think the cloud NFTs are going to have that stickiness, particularly the smoking one. But I think they will just, they're going to have the grab factor, but they're going to have that utility element, which is just going to connect. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm kind of thinking it's going to be the same thing kind of thing, long process, but then very, very quickly, if I had to guess. So I'm in it to win it. I plan on holding mine till 2030. I'm generally fired up. I've never had NFTs, and this year I've gone pretty crazy on them. So we'll see what happens.
Let's go. So for someone listening who's maybe less familiar with cloud, this might be super confusing because there's the cloud meme coin token on ICP. There's a cloud NFT series, super OG, that's associated with the token on ICP. Then there's the Cloud.Foundation we've came up with, which is we're using as kind of an umbrella to aggregate like-minded people who are interested in getting ICP out to the world, educating what ICP is, why the world needs it. I just wanted to lay that out there to help newcomers kind of orient with everything we're talking about. And then within the foundation, I see many different pillars. Education, which is what we've all we're doing independently of each other already. Eerik and Bobby for much longer. Mike and I more recently. I'm the newest. And so education is one pillar. Promotion is one pillar. Promotion of the network, but also of the top projects on the network. And then there's the meme pillar, which, while less serious, is equally important because memes are the way that ideas spread in this day and age, right? And so these are the first three pillars that come to mind, but I think there's several more potentially. I foresee a development pillar, like the CloudFoundation for development, because people are constantly screaming for more utility. Like, cloud's just a meme coin. There's no utility, right? But I think there's plenty of potential for real utility, especially with the advent of caffeine. But I'm curious to your opinion, Eerik, since you have so much professional experience with development, where do you see us potentially using cloud as a vehicle for real development on ICP, like real building? And would you be interested in kind of foreseeing that, organizing that?
Yeah, I would have definitely given a different answer before caffeine, because with caffeine, it just opens up more doors. And again, there's also like different angles. So I'm just gonna try to pick the most important ones. But for me, one thing to make clear is that the point of cloud is to be a meme about ICP.
Yes.
So ICP is cloud. And so when people talk about utility, what they don't see that ICP is the utility. No, not cloud. Cloud shows the way. Cloud is pointing towards ICP and saying what it truly is. So in that sense, and also like crypto cloud is such a powerful terminology. So it can be just a pure meme as well. instead of just dogs, which are also nice. But
Right.
cloud there's so
Means much
much.
more.
Yeah, it means so many different things. It's like natural, inspiring, flexible, and also like it points towards actual technical paradigms and internet era.
Mhm.
And now it also points towards ICP. And so people talking about utility, uh, they do so because they have to, because most of the means don't mean anything. So they have to create some sort of functionality. So to justify that we are now the best, we have this functionality. After caffeine, that will disappear. So it will be much clearer that a simple utility doesn't mean that your meme coin should now be like $5 million. This utility is literally something that anybody can code in university. And so it's nothing to be like overly excited about. I'm not really dismissing anything, but it's just like this utility thing. Utility actually means real value. And if you do that, then great. But cloud also has a real value, and it is about education. Like there's a quality aspect in education. And so while
Mhm.
we all can talk and post and comment in Twitter, it's just not all of us. I mean, bro, in the whole ICP ecosystem and in the whole crypto space, there's not a lot of people who actually take this educational mindset. And so
Yeah.
cloud is
Right.
that. The utility of cloud is being a visionary big picture thesis. And so far I would say that we had the best detailed map where the internet is going, and we've had it for years, and that's like real value. And
Mhm.
so just because we don't have some sort of small software on top of it, it's just we don't have time for this right now. It's
Right.
not important right now.
Right.
In the future, absolutely, cloud is a flexible brand, and the whole structure that we're creating, the whole cloud ecosystem idea is that there will be different projects. Like NFT is one project. You can have
Mhm.
like, I don't know, let's say cloud storage, for example.
Mhm.
There's a lot of, after caffeine hits, anybody can build a storage system on ICP. And maybe people will build their own storage systems on ICP. But cloud storage has a nice like ring to it, and you have to be in the cloud ecosystem to kind of
Right.
have legitimate say to have this cloud storage. So but doing it right now, like it would just like it wouldn't be feasible. It would cost too much money, too much resources. Just doesn't make sense at all.
Like you said, ICP is the utility. We're just spotlighting that utility through cloud. So that's
Yeah.
one answer to the people screaming for more utility. Education is utility. Awareness is utility. So we already do have plenty of utility that's often dismissed on X. But yeah, just wanted to reiterate that. And we have plans to create more, more infinitely more forms of utility under the cloud umbrella. So it's just so exciting.
Yeah. If caffeine AI really like starts to overwhelm and maybe like it gets so popular they have to like shut it down, like we've got we've got like 5 million new developers this week or something crazy, but
Yeah,
you know
these
if it
these
if it
crazy
happens,
scenarios can actually be possible because it's just so
Yeah.
crazy.
you know
Uh,
So
crazy
disruptive.
scenario, but
yeah, 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 yeah.
we maybe hypothetically speaking, we launch a little campaign about, have you ever wanted to launch your own brand without your expensive developer or expensive cybersecurity or a long process to get the application set up, or something that you couldn't get running today and something that we couldn't handle just real quickly, and all you got to do is be able to speak English and just kind of, if you have your business plan, like wow, all of a sudden it's like that's like what Wix had been offering for a long time, except now that person is the owner of that type of thing. And what a really strong offer that would be to make to somebody that had an idea that just didn't want to go through that whole thing, the very, very expensive process. And all those hurdles, and you'll like wait 6 weeks and then find out it was a complete waste of time. A lot of times, I'd imagine, or it's like something. No, we can just try it this afternoon, 10 different ways, and we'll pick which one works the best. And the money that we saved that you would have spent, we'll put to this cloud branding thing and get the ball rolling. It's like, man, it's going to make sense looking back. I hope we can make sense of some things looking forward too. It's like anybody can offer good DApp these days to somebody else, and it can just be completely autonomous, and it can run on data from this morning, and it can get new data tomorrow morning. It's just going to be so cool. I can't wait. I'm genuinely fired up. And like, if you're a business owner, type of one person type of person, and you've had 15 businesses in your lifetime, you're probably going to want to try to bring at least 2 or 3 of those back. With this capability, you'll be a
take more risk at less cost. See what works. For way less investment, way less time.
It's unknown how this unfolds, because it can easily take 10 years for this to mainstream. Even if it's disruptive, it's just there's so much noise, and ICP has been disruptive for 4 years and nobody cares. Like, ICP is clearly it's the next internet protocol. You can build anything on top of it on chain and nobody cares. Now, granted, now we have the iPhone, right? But still, it's so good. But still, I could imagine that the informational space is just so full of noise, and it won't get to people. Which also, that's kind of the possibility. But it also means that the people within ICP ecosystem, they have an insane advantage, because we can any one of us can choose multiple businesses and either help onboard them to Web3 or just do it themselves. And it's just like, it can even be a service. Like, it's just, it's crazy.
I've been thinking about this AI that could like read the person's business or their page and get an idea of what it is and how they're doing it and everything. But gosh, it seems like you could create a Web3, a modernized version of their application in Web3 and then offer it back to them. That would just be such a crazy idea. Like, here, we're taking Bitcoin payments live, baby. We're doing like
your business, but on steroids.
Yeah, we'll just send
way safer.
Boom, invitation to Web3. Invitation to Web3. We'll just be sending them out. I'm totally.
And every single, every business owner that we would pitch to would need help, right? So it's endless opportunity for like consultation. Everyone's going to need their hand held to come on Web3. So we'll be in position to help them come aboard.
It's like a new form of ransomware, because right now you take the system, you lock it, and say that, okay, pay me $1 million, I give you back. But now you replicate the business and say on Web3 and say that, okay, either you pay me some, or we would just take over your software. And you could be cheap. Like, I'm not going to ask $1 million.
Right.
It's like 10 grand, and that's
either you give me market value for this new business.
There's literally millions of systems, and likely there's millions of small websites that this can apply, and that's the crazy part.
Well, in theory, every single business that exists, every single website that exists can be improved.
Well, yes, but complex systems, there's just so much code and so much complexity that and also everything is basically hidden, so it's going to be more complex to replicate it. But just like simple small business website, and for the most part, most software is like that. And even governmental systems, they're not like that complex. It's just like for every department, there's very simple functionality. You could just replicate it and just do crazy shit. You can build public software, common good software, and which is better than the one that we have for all governments, and you can do it very cheaply, and then just offer it to your like jurisdiction, and it's like crazy.
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
mean, we're talking about
Yeah. A
improving the
magic
quality of life for
computer
all of the world. Like, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, it's a magic computer protocol is what we're talking about. It's crazy. Yeah. What else did we want to mention today?
I have a thought. What is the way forward in convincing the world that we need this technology, Eric? Why is there so much resistance when we tell, like, I will tell my friends that are in tech, in software about this, and it's like it goes over their head. And I go into the conversation optimistic, thinking they're gonna love this, like they're gonna resonate with this even more than I do, And then it's like a brick wall, hitting a brick wall. Like some of the smartest people I know, right? So how do we? And then normies, of course they don't understand because these words don't mean anything to them. Web3, they don't understand why we need decentralization. They don't understand what blockchain is. Cryptocurrency sounds scammy, right? So how do we make them get it? Like help them understand, what is the way forward in explaining this to the world?
Well, I think ultimately people do trust people, and especially people that they know. That's kind of one thing. So kind of personal communication, but also it really depends on the kind of the different groups of people. Most people are not in the software space, so that's one group who are not dealing with software. Then we have people who are kind of crypto people, but crypto people, as we can see based on ICP kind of experience, crypto people don't really grasp the software space. Crypto people grasp like money, let's say, like finance.
Yeah.
They grasp, but they don't grasp the software.
Not technical,
not
myself included.
And not really. They can be very technical. They can be very technically niches. It can be very complex, but not the whole global software. But then you have people who are doing the global software, but they kind of dismiss crypto, and for a large part, they are right because most crypto is kind of shady. And so we have this kind of silos. It's like most people, then a big section of software people, and then crypto people, and they don't kind of understand each other. And so that's kind of one.
They would all require their own unique explanation to each sector of these groups.
Right.
So how do we fine tune the messaging for each of these groups? Like that's kind of my intention to figure that out and start delivering the proper messaging, distributing it.
A lot of people don't think it matters anything about it. They take it for granted that it works when it does. The other thing is the types of people that are very into the tech don't have that creative department typically as well, which is going to be good for reading the crowd, for the institutionally accepted term as well for what we're trying to describe, which is cloud. That connection, I think, was cemented by the creative group amongst the tech crowd. And in the last couple weeks, this environment, the theme of the environment has become cloud, and I think that's how we're going to differentiate ICP from the rest of the crypto tokens, incorporating that verbiage into mostly everything as we're seeing. And I think the NFTs are situated just so perfectly. I just want to see more. I'd just like to see it presented more widely, and it's obvious that that's happening. So I'm thrilled.
Like for me, I first heard about Bitcoin around 2016, and I studied it from the perspective of software engineering. And so I kind of learn that, okay, it has blockchains. I try to understand the block thing, and like I try to learn about the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what Bitcoin is about. Like that's the technical side, but that's not sound money. That's not freedom money. I didn't grasp that. And so I was just looking at, okay, 10-minute blocks, encryptions, cryptography, like very technical stuff. And because of my expertise, that actually prevented me from understanding Bitcoin. And this is what I
Mm.
see in the current software
Mm,
space. We have like 50 million full stack
wow.
engineers. They are experts in what they do. And this is the reason why they don't see innovation in their own field. And that's kind of the it might be much simpler for a normie to understand ICP, the next internet protocol, than somebody who has been like engineering for 20 years. And
Mm-hmm.
just like anyone can understand Bitcoin, but many financial experts don't understand it. That's exactly, like being an expert can be a limitation.
Wow. Wow.
So well said.
But yeah, and another point is that when Chris, you asked like what can we do, and again going back to the Bitcoin case, if you don't understand the problem, you're not going to understand the solution. So first understand the problem of crypto and the problem of cloud. There are problems in crypto and problems in cloud that can be fixed by a crypto cloud. And so
Yes.
that's again like, and if you don't see those problems, you're not going to be like, wow, crypto cloud, are you kidding me? Because
Right.
it
Yeah.
is for me, because I see
Yeah.
the problems. If
Us
you don't
too.
Yeah.
see the problems, you're not gonna have this effect. So we gotta address the fundamental systemic problems of cloud. They are out there. It's not a secret. And also in the crypto space, there's also the same kind of, not the same, but their own problems. And the crypto cloud is kind of putting it together as one solution. And that's the beauty of it. And also it's a meme, so it can be very flexible, cultural, like stuff like that. Like through this meme, we can kind of target different people, I would say.
Brilliant. Yes. So working on maybe defining those problems and spotlighting them for the particular crowds who care about those particular problems, right? Like money is one sector. Within cloud, it's infinite. The different like social media, ownership of content, ownership of your money, uh, and you're the expert here on cloud. You could spend the whole day listing all the problems, right?
Well, in the white
Uh-huh.
paper, both the crypto and cloud problems are stated and then put
Yes.
together as a crypto cloud. So that was again kind of the reason for a white paper, is to actually explain what is crypto cloud, like why is it like a like an elegant way how to not just explain ICP, but to truly kind of see how it unfolds. Like, what is cloud historically for the internet? What does it enable? Why was it
Mhm.
successful? What is crypto? What is the kind of the meaning of crypto? What are all the
Mm.
projects using crypto? Like, what are the problems there? That's the whole point of white paper. And yeah, it can be better,
Yes.
but I would say that it kind of explains the problems, and then you put them together and realize that we can solve crypto and cloud problems. And yeah, then you attach caffeine on top. That's gonna just that kind of
Yep.
breaks the internet. It's really kind of, the internet is being broken right now. It will break, and something new
Mm-hmm.
will arise. That's kind of
Right.
scary and exciting, and like
Yeah.
it's a lot of things, but it's just
Yeah.
something astronomical is happening.
Yes. So for everyone listening that wants to understand this landscape a little better, yes, the white paper on CryptoCloud.Foundation is a great starting point. And I've read it multiple times. It's been a few months, but I grasp a lot from it. And just thank you for your efforts putting that together, Eric. And maybe we can work on breaking that into pieces. Like maybe we could have short form content highlighting certain aspects of the white paper, as because not everyone's going to have the patience or time to sit down and ingest the whole thing. I'm lucky that I'm able to, and I really enjoy it. But for many people, it's like that's too much to ask, right? And they need something quick and digestible. And depending on their specific interests, they may only care about certain facets of the whole thesis. So this conversation is just inspiring me, different ways that we could get the knowledge out to the people in a
Yeah,
practical way.
especially as like the cloud brand expands and we begin to get cloud products. We could have easily the cloud like represented, and then other things like it's just gonna there's just so much synergistic things that are gonna happen, and every single post just strengthens cloud. I can't believe how, and I don't say this critically, but I guess I could say it positively. The promotional content that we're doing is working, and the people that are not doing material are failing. I can't really say it besides that. And a lot of them have real big use cases, and I mean maybe not all of them, but a lot of them have been around a long time, have a lot of money behind them, lots of reasons to succeed, but they don't have that presence. And cloud has a gateway to that, with the ability to just kind of present cloud in a lot of different ways. So that's one of the beauties. I'm pleasantly surprised by the results that we've seen so far, and I think other brands could expect to see similar results with a cloud strategy or a cloud co-opt relationship with in terms of marketing and branding strategy. So
Well, yeah, to your point about projects that are not getting out there, as much as they should, or not creating content. Like, not every builder is a marketer. Obviously, not every marketer is a builder, but every project needs both.
yeah,
Right. And so cloud can be a hub that provides support in both areas to help you achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. It's kind of how I see it.
yeah, it's so cool that both of
Through the
those
network.
both of those things you mentioned, those are being automated in real time. The developer and the marketer.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that? So, like, each one is going to be $1 or a penny on the dollar for cost. So, execution is going to be critical. The perspective of the team is going to be very important. The consistency, like, we're going to have all this stuff, which is going to be the stuff that can't be scaled. No, this stuff can be scaled. We'll be down to this stuff which can't be scaled. And we just need to be focusing all of our efforts to that stuff, because that's the stuff that the other people won't be doing. They'll just be trying to hyperscale everything, and we need to be focused on activities that still take up like mental bandwidth that other people wouldn't be willing to do, and just to kind of keep that forward perspective in socially, and that's one of my main my main goals, just to keep the cloud conversation relevant, to keep it on people's minds.
We are just getting started, but the future, we are really perfectly placed, but the future is unknown. And so I like where we are. I like our chances. I feel like we can be the best brand on the best tech in the world. And so that kind of says a lot. But how do we get from here to 2029, 2030? What happens in the middle? What services or products will we do? What is the CloudFoundation in 4 years? I don't know. We might have like 100 different utility software projects under cloud. That's possible. Or maybe we will have like a few, and our value is always going to be higher up than software, because software might become like it is evolving and changing so much that we can't really know what software is in a few years in a way.
Yeah,
It's so disruptive. but we're very nicely positioned. The brand, the name, the structure, the foundation, and we will just adapt and we will grow, and there's so much room to grow, even within ICP ecosystem we are vastly undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
Now you consider the whole crypto space, and not just crypto space but also cloud space, which is all software. Like crypto cloud is all software. So I mean, just as a meme and as a movement, there's just so much potential. So I'm very
Yeah,
excited, and just kind of
yeah.
keep ourselves flexible and going for the long term.
It's hard to remember that 99%, like Bobby says, are going to have to change their position. And we're in the 1% who has already made that adjustment right now. We've made a lot of progress with the market share that we've gained socially, mentally, literally. And I don't want us to burn our gears out trying to start a bunch of businesses right away. I don't think that all it takes is one or two that's successful, you know, and in the meantime, we can just keep putting our energy where we know it's going to, where it's being maximized, which is in content and education and branding. Buffett always says you can let a lot of pitches come by the plate until one that's perfect, and then you just, hit the shit out of it, you know. So I think that's a great plan for cloud, and
Mm.
we'll just be patient and just keep doing what we're doing. And I don't think there's nothing that can really stop us at this point. And yeah, I'm fired up. And yeah, do you guys have anything kind of closing comments for today? Or
Yeah, as a nice close, I would just like to invite anyone out there who's interested in ICP to join the cloud movement. It's open to everyone. Everyone is welcome. The more, the better. You don't have to own the token to participate. You can participate socially by
yeah,
joining the network. It's non-exclusive. You can own an NFT if that's your thing. You can get in a group chat and find the people you resonate with, whether it's builders, content creators, on and on and on, and get the ball rolling there, get connected.
yeah,
So if you want to learn more about cloud, you can go to CryptoCloud.Foundation, the website built by Eerik. He's laid out a very nice technical thesis describing everything we've been discussing. And then also there's the CryptoCloud.Fun website, which is more oriented towards the token. You can follow us all on X.
yeah.
Follow Bobby O. He has the Cloud Foundation account. And then Eerik Potter, Mike ICP here. I'm Chris Yost, .ICP on X. And just thanks everyone for listening and being a part of the movement.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.